Throwaway for obvious reasons. Names changed. So I, 33 female, have been married to Tim, 34 male, for 5 years. He's incredibly family-oriented, which normally is sweet. Keyword, normally. His mom, Laura, 60s, his sister, Emma, 21, Emma's boyfriend, Chris, 21, and Laura's husband, Jack, 60s, all lived together in Laura's home until a gas leak turned their house into a carbon monoxide chamber. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the house needed major repairs. We were told they'd be displaced for a while. Here's where it gets fun. Tim unilaterally decided to invite them to live with us. Not ask me, not discuss it. Just told me they were coming. 24 hours before they showed up with suitcases and coolers of food like it was a summer camping trip. This wasn't a, can we host them for a few days? Situation. This was, they'll stay until the house is fixed, which I later learned could take months. I was livid. And before anyone calls me heartless, no. I grew up with 3 older siblings, 2 brothers and a sister. I'm the youngest, and I understand the importance of family. I would give my family the shirt off my back, but I also believe in boundaries, especially when I wasn't consulted in my own damn house. Now for context, Emma is the miracle baby, born after Laura had long given up hope of another child. She's the golden child, and Laura dotes on her like a Victorian-era heir. Tim, who's the second oldest, has spent most of his life playing peacemaker and trying to earn his mother's affection, especially since Laura and Tim's dad divorced when he was 10. His dad and stepmom? Absolute angels. Respectful, kind, never overstep. Can't say the same about Laura and Jack. Emma and Chris are both full-time students with 0 job prospects. Chris spends all day in our media room playing FPS games and vaping stress away, while Emma uses our guest room as her personal content studio. She's an aspiring lifestyle influencer with less than 500 followers and a ring light addiction. Jack just sits in our sunroom reading and pretending the rest of the world doesn't exist. And Laura? She's been reorganizing my spice rack, commenting on my wardrobe, and calling my dog hers. I finally snapped after week 2, today, when Laura told me that maybe I should put more effort into my appearance, since I work from home and have no excuse. I run a consulting firm from my home office. She thinks I play on spreadsheets. I told Tim we needed to talk, and he actually had the nerve to say, "Babe, don't start. They're family. They needed us." I lost it. I told him they're his family, not his responsibility. That he crossed a huge line inviting 4 adults into our home without my input. That I felt disrespected, bulldozed, and treated like an afterthought in my own marriage. I told him I've been a good wife, a good host, and a better daughter-in-law than his family deserves. But I'm not a doormat. He accused me of being cold and said I didn't understand what it's like to come from a broken home. I reminded him that he married someone from a healthy home where people ask before they impose, and boundaries are respected. Just because Laura emotionally manipulated him for decades doesn't mean I'm going to let her run my house like it's her second chance at suburban royalty. Now he's sulking. Laura's been making martyr comments about not being wanted. Emma passive-aggressively posted a TikTok about people who don't support your dreams, and I'm the villain in my own home. I love my husband, but I feel like I'm being punished for having a backbone. Top comments before reading the update. You are absolutely right, your husband is treating you terribly. He is literally setting you on fire just to keep them warm, and you and your home and even your marriage are all being completely disrespected by all of them. Stand your ground and good luck, OP. Change the Wi-Fi password and do not give it to any of them, husband included, if you don't trust him not to pass it along. If Emma wants to create content, she will have to go elsewhere. Chris will not be able to sit around all day and play video games. They can both get jobs, learn to read, or move out. Obviously, you need the internet in order to WFH, but no one else needs it. They want it, but do not need it. And if you are doing the food shopping, stop buying any goodies or snacks they like. Start making life in your home less comfortable for them all so they will want to move out sooner. People lived for generations without TV and internet. They'll survive, and Phil will probably try to increase the pace of their home repairs. We had a similar situation where a family member moved in after a job loss, just until he got back on his feet. 6 months later, he wasn't even trying to find a job. Just sat around the house all day eating and watching TV and playing video games. I changed the password, took all the TV remotes, and disappeared them. Actually, they were in the trunk of my car, which was parked at my office all day. And I took all the goodies and also put them in the trunk of my car. He whined and complained that we were treating him like a child. Yep, time to grow up. But I believe he had a job within the week and moved out pretty quickly after that. And once he was gone, I gave husband and kids back the Wi-Fi password. We all read a lot until he moved out because no TV screens. Update. Thank you to everyone who commented. especially those who pointed out how suspicious this gas leak situation was. Y'all gave me the clarity and pettiness I needed. So I did a little digging, and I went full detective mode. I told Tim I was going to visit my niece, which I do regularly so it didn't raise flags. Instead, I made 3 stops. Stop 1, the gas company. I called and asked about the supposed gas leak at Laura's address. They had no record of any emergency call, appointment, or report from that property. Nada. They didn't even know the names. Stop 2, the landlord. I called Laura's landlord, their house is a rental, to ask if they'd been notified about any gas-related issues. He was confused. Told me point blank that no one had contacted him about a gas leak, and if there had been one, it would have been reported and handled ASAP. He'd just done a routine inspection a week before they fled to our house and found nothing wrong. Stop 3, their actual house. Yup, I drove over there. No warning signs, no work vehicles, nothing indicating any repairs were happening. I even Googled what to look for after a carbon monoxide emergency. There were no do not enter notices, no equipment, no new detectors installed, nothing. The neighbors that were out front and I asked them about it, and they had casually confirmed they hadn't seen any crews or heard about any leak either. I was fuming. Now, I knew Emma's boyfriend Chris is as sharp as a wet paper towel and has the worst poker face known to man. So I got him alone while everyone else was at the beach, again, and calmly said, "You're not in trouble, but I need you to tell me the truth about why you're really here." Because I spoke to the gas company and the landlord. Y'all. This boy snitched so fast I didn't even have to ask twice. Turns out the entire gas leak story was a lie, cooked up by Laura and Emma. They knew Tim would panic if he thought something had happened to them, and that if they said emergency, he'd roll out the red carpet. The real reason they wanted to stay with us? We live 10 minutes from the beach, the same beach that they've been conveniently going for walks there almost every day. They didn't want to pay for a hotel or an Airbnb, and like I said, they knew he'd do it because he's always trying to be the hero, especially when it comes to his mom. When I confronted Tim, I didn't yell. I just calmly laid it all out. What I'd found, what I'd confirmed, and what Chris confessed. And I saw the exact moment it hit him. His own mother and sister manipulated him using a fake emergency just to score a free beach vacation. He was shattered, then angry, then disgusted. He didn't even hesitate. He told them all to pack their stuff and leave that exact second. Laura cried as she was trying to guilt-trip him. I didn't work, obviously. Emma screamed. Jack shrugged and asked for a ride, and Chris apologized 3 separate times on his way out the door. Now it's just me and Tim again. The silence in the house is unreal, but to his credit, Tim finally got it. We had a long conversation about boundaries, family enmeshment, and manipulation. He admitted this was a wake-up call and that he's tired of being the fixer who gets used. We're now looking into couples counseling, not because I'm leaving him, but because this broke a piece of my trust, and we both want to rebuild it the right way. For once, I feel like Tim finally sees things for what they are. For the TDLR peoples, gas leak was fake. In-laws lied for a free beach vacation. Tim grew a spine, and they're gone. Thanks again, Reddit. I owe you one. Top comment reads, "Make sure your BF gets solo and couples therapy. Glad you have your peace again." Someone replied, "Yeah, I have a dear friend with a narcissistic sister, and he goes in cycles when he gets the abuse and he is mad and they are done. And a year goes by, and suddenly it was not that bad, and we should all try harder and be family. I am his friend and his wife's. I adore them. It makes me livid how much that woman abuses her brother. I want to slap her silly. All of the kids refuse to have anything to do with her. They are all adults now. But he just can't let go of the butt family programming his dysfunctional family-scape goaded him into for decades. All to say, OP. Don't expect this to stick without some serious therapy for your partner." Another said, "The stupid thing is that if they'd asked to come stay for a few days to go to the beach, you might have said yes. Instead, they blew it all up." OP replied, "Literally. Because despite the way they act, they're still my husband's family, and I would have gladly let them stay if they had just asked, or I would have paid for their hotel or Airbnb." Good thing OP found the truth. What do you think her next action should be? Comment below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fresh stories.